I'm the Count of Monte Cristo, but my friends call me Edmond Dantes.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the YS channel. So today we're gonna jump straight into another. I'd like to call it a cult classic, even though I think it was actually it performed decently at the box office. It's the 2002 movie The Count of Monte Cristo, starring Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce.
Now I couldn't live in a world where you have everything and I have nothing.
The movie's about a prison break. That's the whole gist of the story. And again, this movie takes some liberties with that story, but at the same time, it's still like faithful to the source material.
What did he want?
Oh, news from France. That's all.
But we're going to go over what makes this movie special. This movie completely flew under the radar when it was first released for reasons, I don't know, maybe poor marketing or people just weren't interested. But let's break it down. First, we have an incredible performance by Jim Caviezel, who's better known to us as Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. He is Edmond Dantes, the sailor who becomes the captain after be promoted for his actions in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then we have Guy Pearce, who plays the Count Mondego, or Fernand Mondego at first, who sets forth a plan to betray Edmond Dantes after his fortunes turned for the better, and they're doing for the worse, but like he becomes jealous of his friend, and he feels like he needs to take his friend out of the picture, especially to get to his beautiful fiance Mercedes.
At the start of the movie, again, it's a spoiler for anybody who's never read the fucking book or watched the movie, the 2002 version anyway. So it starts off on the island of Elba, where Napoleon is exiled to, and that's where all the problems start for our poor friend Edmond Dantes here. So he's handed a letter from Napoleon, and this letter is to be delivered to another person who will become important later on in the plot. And again, if you don't know your history with the whole Napoleon Wars in France and all that shit, Napoleon was exiled, so any kind of correspondence he sent in to like circumvent his exile is considered treasonous. Unfortunately for Edmond Dantes, again, his character doesn't know how to read. He's basically what they would call a useful idiot at this point in the story. He's young, he's naive, and he's like, "Oh man, I'll help you deliver the letter. No problem, sir. I give you my word." And people take advantage of that. And then one thing leads to another. As you said, the shipping vessel he worked on, the captain dies. They go to Elba. All right, they come back. Edmund gets a promotion. He becomes the captain of the ship, and that pisses off like the first mate or whatever you want to call it. His name is Dunglass. And he's pissed off, because he got passed over where what he felt like was his rightful position as captain.
I told Dantes not to go ashore.
Is this true?
I accept all responsibility.
That's what you should.
It was all his idea, monsieur.
It should have been your idea.
Putting into Elba didn't save the captain's life, monsieur. I was protecting the merchandise.
You were protecting yourself by hiding behind your rank and staying aboard. Edmond Dantes, I am making you the new captain of the Pharaon.
You presume to demote me.
There is no demotion. You will remain first mate under Captain Dantes. Unless, of course, you choose to seek another berth.
And then Edmund has a beautiful fiance, a girlfriend, Mercedes, who the Guy Pearce character, Fernand Mondego or Count Mondego, he doesn't even secretly covet her. He openly covets her. All right, so you got 2 dominoes that are falling down early on in this movie, right? And these 2 conspire together, basically, and they come up with a plan to fuck over Edmond Dantes.
Hello, my fine young gentleman. Care to join me? So tell me, Mondego, how did you ever become friends with that righteous little ponce, Edmond Dantes?
He claims to be my friend. He has the audacity to keep secrets from me.
What secrets?
Now, as we mentioned, what makes this movie really stand out, I mean, it's well filmed. I guess the cinematography is pretty fucking good on it. They to me, it looks accurate to the time period. But it's the performances that in this movie that really hit home. I mean, I have no idea why Jim Caviezel specifically, like, why this dude isn't in more projects. Like, the dude's a fucking
Days, many novels were published in segments at a time or chapters in newspapers, and each chapter ended on a cliffhanger, and this would go on for months at a time. And Alexandre Dumas was no stranger to this method because he's also known for the 3 Musketeers books. Well, back to the Count of Monte Cristo. The book is kind of long, and each chapter ends on a cliffhanger, and Edmond Dantes' motivations to exact revenge on the people he feels like have betrayed him are long and complex. The 2002 movie changes that to a certain extent. I won't spoil the movie if you had read the book, but the movie simplifies Edmond Dantes' reasons for revenge and changes some of the characteristics as to why he wants revenge or some of his motivations because this movie and the book differs in many ways. For example, when he escapes from the prison and joins the pirate crew, in the book he already has the map, but in the book he feigns an injury or illness to be let off on the account on Monte Cristo, and that's where he finds the treasure. In this movie, he already knows where the island is. He just needs help to get the treasure, and that's where the character of Jacopo in this movie comes to play. Does it play? But what makes this movie, in my opinion, stick out is because it doesn't stick to the source material exactly. Like it's its own story, but as you said before, it stays true to the story of to the source material, but at the same time it's different. Like, for example, for those of you who've seen Godzilla Final Wars, I'm going to bring this up. The English dub is a completely different story compared to the actual Japanese language. Like, both are telling 2 complete stories. You just have to, don't believe me, get hold of the movie on DVD or iTunes and play the special features. And you'll find out for yourself.
Yourself, my friend.
We were friends, Edmond.
You sent me to hell! Why?
Take your vengeance. But know the blood you spill is noble. Blood that will never run through your veins. You're no more a count than I am a commoner! You don't have it in you.
Touch him and I'll kill you. Boy, let me explain. It's been explained.
Anyway, like, exactly, dude. So this movie takes liberties with the source material, and in some ways it tells its own story, but it still stays relatively faithful to the core story. which is a prison break and revenge story. So speaking of the prison break, so again, Edmond is locked up in the Chateau d'If prison, right? And he's about there 6 to 7 years, give or take. And then another prisoner ends up tunneling into his prison cell, who's the priest named Abbe Ferreira. I'm sure I probably fucked up that name, but he's played by Richard Harris. And for those who don't know who Richard Harris is, he played Dumbledore in the first 2 Harry Potter movies. So you got Jesus Christ being rescued by fucking Dumbledore. You know, there's everything I'll play into this later. But so anyway, so when this priest tunnels in, the priest's like, "Oh, I thought I was tunneling out," and blah blah blah. One thing leads to another, and he spends the next several years teaching Edmond Dantes everything he knows, like literature, how to read, write, economics, science, everything he fucking knows. And then at one point near their escape, they're tunneling out, and they've actually successfully tunneled out of the prison almost. In fact, they get to the point where they reach plant roots or whatever. There's a cave in, and then Faria gets injured, and he dies from his injuries. And then, of course, Edmond uses his opportunity to escape because, like, basically the prison guys, they just put the dude in a body bag. They can just throw him over the cliff and done with it. Edmond takes his body out of the body bag, puts himself there, and then that's how he escapes. There's a dramatic sequence where, like, they got, like, the prison warden or whatever, and before they toss him over, he grabs the guy's key, pulls him in with him, drowns him, takes the key, unlocks the shackles, and he's free. And that's where he meets the fucking smuggler crew, Luigi Vampa and his crew, and Jacopo. He meets up with all of them, and then eventually, this is actually kind of a humorous, awesome little sequence where he has a knife fight with Jacopo because the crew whatever wants to fucking kill him, and everyone's like, "Don't do it." Knife fight, whatever, and Jacopo becomes like his main man after that. And then, unlike the book, Edmond has the map to the treasure, and then basically it's after his return, because he joins the smuggling crew. After his return, sets out with Jacopo, finds the island, finds the treasure, and then from there, he becomes the Count of Monte Cristo, and then he sets off his plan for revenge.
Yes, I'm gonna stop you there. Everything you see, you pointed out everything brilliantly. But for those who are watching,
I find smuggling is the life for me, and would be delighted to kill your friend the maggot.
Oh, by the way, Jacopo is the best knife fighter I've ever seen.
Perhaps you should get out more.
Release Jacopo and give him back his knife. Then we'll let the games begin.
Get up, maggot.
As you hope to live, do not move an eyelash.
Signor Vampa, allow Jacopo to live. He's already suffered enough with the prospect of being buried alive. Men that wanted to see some sport have seen it. Those who wanted mercy for Jacopo will get it. And by keeping me in Jacopo, you will have yet another skilled sailor and fighter for your crew.
It's a deal.
What is his name?
His name? We should call him Zatara.
Sounds fearsome.
It means driftwood.
I swear on my dead relatives, even on the ones that are not feeling too good. I am your man forever.
I know.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
one of them. This is one of my favorite movies, dude. Like, I've watched this, several times, and
Same here. Same here. Demonstrate how much I enjoyed this movie. I searched long and hard to acquire this movie on DVD, and then when it first became available on iTunes, I acquired it on iTunes.
I pirated it. I mean, I acquired it. But again, in all seriousness, this is a well-made, well-put-together movie. You know, I'm surprised it wasn't more of a big hit, other than that people aren't fans of the source material, I guess. But
again, the source material has been done over many times, and
there's actually a movie coming out this year.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Right. I think there's two, but I could be mistaken.
Well, the thing is you got to think about the book itself. The story is now in public domain.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now we can make our own Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, we could. Could. And actually, since you're in England, I'm sure there's some locations where if we were to film it. Well, England is not it had its own culture back then in the 1800s during this movie takes place. But I'm sure we would make our own version of it. We use the English locations to our benefit.
Honestly, dude, the only flaw to this movie really is for people that are portraying mostly French actors.
Yeah,
they use a lot of British people for some fucking reason.
It's a trend in many movies. They usually have like British people playing French, German, other Europeans. And part of the reason is in England or the United Kingdom as a whole, they treat acting as a serious profession, and usually when they need an actor to portray such a at the background in that regards, they usually hire the British people because they usually put the effort into making it believable. Usually, not always, but always. But it does annoy me that you couldn't get an Italian person to play an Italian person, or a German person to play a German person.
I mean, that's just being nitpicky here. I mean, overall, for anybody who hasn't seen this version of Monte Cristo, this is the must watch. Of all the movies that we reviewed on this channel, some have been good, some have been terrible, some in between. This is actually a really goddamn fucking good movie. So if you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It's an amazing movie. And then with that said, just drop a like, subscribe, follow the channel. We do greatly appreciate it.
Channel. We thrive on your likes and subscribes.
Yeah, we feed off it literally. So
it's our life force.
Yeah, so as you can see, none of us are starving, but again, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, fuck you, Cameron. Well, anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Until the next time, later.
Later, people.
Courtesy for a gentleman.
You didn't think I'd make it that easy, did you?
Yeah!